Come on now. I fought Apollo Creed, and I done fought Robert Lane, and I fought that big Russian dude, and man, ain't none of them been as tough as this digital prisoner. Come on, ref, call some of these shots. He's knocking me down. He's fighting dirty. Come on, ref. Ding, ding, ding. Your new world heavyweight champion, the digital prisoner. All right. Thank you, thank you. Well, with my new fame glory, I'm here to talk to you about the government as a referee. They are the protector of competition. They keep it fair. They keep it legit. Or at least that's what they tell us. So the competition makes the economy work best. That's the belief of the capitalist society. Now, and you get into other economic systems, that is not necessarily the belief. When we're going to go on this purely based off the capitalist society, uh, off the free market system. All right. Due to profit motive, some companies try to take out competition. Hey, if I ain't got them to compete against, I'm going to be making more money. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so, practices to protect against fraud, predatory pricing, price fixing, collusion. And we're going to talk about each of these. Fraud, it's intentional misrepresentation of reality for financial gain. You know, it could be as simple as, hey, I wrote a hot check, I committed fraud, I did it, so made you think I had this money. But it gets much bigger when we start talking about, the government interfering on a national or on a major scale. Uh, Vendor lock-in. Consumer is dependent on a producer for products or services and can't move to another producer without substantial switching costs. Okay. Uh, Microsoft product compatibility. These are all ways that they get you stuck in a certain way. Bid rigging. Two or more producers agree not to bid against one another or coordinate bids so that prices are artificially inflated. And the government steps in and says, whoa, you got to stop that. Predatory pricing. It's selling a product at a price that is below the cost of production in order to push competitors out of the market. For example, Walmart does this a lot, and your other major department stores. Um, they sell DVDs. If you ever notice, in which I'm just using that. They'll sell a DVD real cheap, real cheap, because they want you to come in there on that Tuesday and then go buy while you're in there. There's planning that you're going to buy a bunch of other stuff, which is going to make up for the money they lose on that. Whereas, you would have gone to, let's say, FYE, but FYE costs ridiculously way more money for that DVD or Blu-ray than Walmart does, or Target, or any of these other major ones, and they sell it a lot cheaper. And some of them sell it under cost, and not necessarily the Blu-ray or DVD, but they'll sell a product under cost in order to get you in to spend more money in there, because they figure since you're there, well, let me go ahead and buy my groceries, or let me go ahead and buy, these other things I need. Collusion. Agreement between two or more parties to act in a way that will influence the free market. Okay? They decide that, hey, we're going to make things shift this way. And you see a lot of these movies, nowadays about businesses and stuff, and you can see a lot of examples of collusion. Uh, if you watched Wolf of Wall Street, or some of these movies, Wall Street, you see some collusionary practices taking place because they're trying to influence the free market. Production limitation is a practice of intentionally keeping supply low in order to create high prices. This is done in quite a bit of things. One primary thing is oil. They could have a whole lot more oil, so gas prices and stuff would be much lower, but instead they regulate how much oil is produced in order to bring the prices of gas up so they make more money. Price fixing, an agreement among rival producers to sell at the same price. You ever wonder why, if you go to a certain area, things are all priced at a specific price? Well, one, sometimes it is competition, but other times, you ever go to, like, for example, if you're in one area of a city and all the gas stations around there, the gas is like, let's say, $4. But if you go somewhere else, the gas is only $3. Well, all those gas stations in that area agreed to raise the price up to $4, so they were all getting a piece of that, $4 action. A cartel is a group of producers who work collectively to raise prices and profits. And the cartels we most commonly hear of today are the drug cartels. They're a group who are working together to raise prices and profits. But you also have cartels in businesses as well, and the government are supposed to be watching out for some of these. Market concentration, an industry in which a few large sellers dominate sales. Now, this can be something that is naturally occurring, like an oligopoly, but it can be something that is illegally forced upon things. And we'll look, for example, the antitrust laws that go against monopolies happening, in which people push things so that there's only one company, and then they can price regulate and charge, out the wazoo for all the different things you want to buy. 1800s, you had Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, a lot of these powerful names that you've heard of in business and so forth. They created these powerful corporations that dominated their industry. They bought out all their smaller competition. They forced them out, sometimes illegally, which led to these monopolies so they could charge what they wanted. They could pay people what they wanted in that industry, and they prevented new competition. Anytime somebody come along to compete with them, they'd either buy them out or somehow destroy them. Well, came along antitrust law, which prevents businesses from forming monopolies to engage or engaging in other practices that restrict competition. So, and one big deal about this, a little while back now, was Microsoft and how it was gaining a monopoly on stuff, and they broke up a lot of different parts of Microsoft. You had the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890 and the Clayton Antitrust Act of 1914. They kept having to change it in order for it to be fruitful. And they have some enforcers of this. The Bureau of Competition, it's a wing of the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and the Antitrust Division, which is part of the Department of Justice, the DOJ. Every government loves their abbreviations. Uh, they also protect the consumers. They don't just protect competition, they protect the consumers. Governments keep consumers from being misrepresented represented or representation to the consumers. They keep them from bad products and so forth. Some of the groups that do this are some of the ways they do this are the consumer reports that you can go read about those products, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commissions, um, and the best protection is being informed. And so they make products put labels on them. That's like whenever you go to read buy your food, you can look at how many different ingredients and so forth is in it. So A, you don't buy something you're allergic to, and B, you don't buy something you're trying to avoid or something. But this is on a lot of things that has that labels. Some of the groups that regulate this are the FTC, the FDA. FDA is the one that deals with food, Consumer Product Safety Commissions, the FFA, which deals with airlines, the Federal Highway Administration. So there's a lot of, and this is just to name a few. There are a lot of groups in the government that regulate all of these different particular things. And you have to think back to our government course in which we talked about a lot of these different agencies. However, protection isn't free. They charge us money for this. And they don't charge us directly, they charge us through taxes. Okay, so all of this is paid for by taxes. Okay, so this is where part of your taxes go to pay the salaries for the people that work there, to pay for all the equipment they need, to put out all the information. It is done through taxes. The government is not doing this out of the goodwill of their heart. So what do you think? What's your call as a ref? If you were the ref, do you think the government should interfere as a referee in the economy? To what degree should the interference be allowed? And where do you think the funds should come from this? Should it come from those taxations? Should it be charged directly from businesses? Should it be charged, add on as a sales tax or something to something? So, think about these, and until next time, deuces.